Hello again, everybody. Ben Joravsky here. We're calling this Bannon's Salute Friday. And here's why. The great David Faris, political scientist extraordinaire, and great political thinker, standing by, waiting to come on. Before I bring him on, I just say this. Governor Pritzker on Tuesday gave his State of the Illinois speech, State of the State, as they say. It's a budget address. I'm going to hold off on making my typical budget address comments on the farce of the budget game in Illinois, in Chicago, in Washington, to concentrate on the ending part of the speech, where he gave a warning. And the warning was that we could lose this beloved democracy very soon. It could happen really fast. That was a very stark warning, and he talked about how quickly democracy fell in the 30s when the Nazis took over. And he made it very personal. He talked about Nazis marching in Skokie back in 1979, ancient history. But I remember it, J.B. Pritzker, because I'm a little older than most of my listeners. Anyway, neither here nor there. It was a very stark warning, and immediately he was denounced by Republicans for daring to compare the current MAGA movement to Nazis. This is a typical response when Democrats and the lefties like myself or David Faris are worried about the pending fascism, the loss of democracy in our country. Republicans roll their eyes and go, "Oh my God, they're such worry wards." Well, like right on time. It's like, you gotta laugh, people. It's dark humor, but right on time, Steve Bannon giving an address. Steve Bannon, the brains of the MAGA movement, if you will, the propaganda brains, the ideological brains of the. We'll see if David Faris agrees with me that Steve Bannon is the ideological brain, if there's such a thing, of the MAGA movement, and extremely right-winger. Has embraced right-wing movements throughout the world, and he's sort of like, in many ways, his thoughts launched what Musk is undertaking, which is this assault on federal employees, which is dressed up as an assault on the deep state, which is some nefarious behind-the-scenes group of cosmopolitans who are destroying what makes America great. That's their ideological underpinning of their movement. And if you're a political scientist and you just study these things in the abstract, it sure bears strong resemblance to what went down in Germany in the 1930s, both in the tone and the tenor of the rhetoric, and particularly picking on like the most vulnerable as the scapegoats, in this case immigrants, all immigrants except for rich immigrants or educated immigrants. Anyway, so that's actually Steve Bannon's against them too, so at least he's consistent as opposed to Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy. Anyway, so he's giving a speech to some conservative group. I forget the name of the group, and it's just yesterday, I think, the day before, I don't know, I think it was yesterday. Thursday. And he's making this denunciation, this strong and passionate call to resist, which is so funny because we're talking about the resistance. He's talking about the resistance to the resistance. So he's like, fight, fight, fight. That's what he's saying, not resist. Fight, fight. We must continue to fight. I'm like, dude, you won. You're in charge of absolutely everything. It's never enough with you guys. You always have to pretend you're the victim. Anyway, and at the end of that speech, he does a freaking Nazi salute. I'm like, like, are you kidding me? And so he does the Nazi salute, and then he nods his head as if to say, "Yeah, I did it. Proud of it." And then he says, "Amen." Add a little religious, theme to the Nazi salute. Kind of proving that what J.B. Pritzker says was true. Just saying that out there, MAGA guys. If you want to undercut the rhetoric of people like J.B. Pritzker, you might want to refrain from Nazi salutes. I was reading the articles in the aftermath, and the ADL, unbelievable. They could not be reached for comment in the one article I read in the forward. Maybe I don't know, maybe subsequent they couldn't be reached for comment, but you put a puppet show somewhere in City Hall. Oh, there, like, comment here. We got you. Crazy times in our country. You got to kind of laugh at the dark humor at all, because if you don't laugh at the dark humor at all, you crawl under your desk in a fetal position.